Hey, I'm standing here next to Sunset Riders, released by Konami in 1991 for the arcades. It's one of my personal favorites here at our own arcade, and it's today's subject on Twincadia from the floor. Sunset Riders is housed in this beast of a 4-player cabinet. Each player has an 8-way joystick, a jump, and a fire button. The cabinet style is shared by other 4-player Konami games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game, The Simpsons, and X-Men. These 4-player arcade cabinets are a huge hit at our arcade bar and get tons of plays. Note that Sunset Riders was also released in a scaled-down 2-player cabinet. Sunset Riders is a side-scrolling shooting action game set in the American Old West. You choose between 4 bounty hunter characters, Steve, Billy, Bob, and Hermano. Each of the 4 playable characters all have their own art style, however they all control the same. Steve and Billy are decked out in cowboy gear and shoot dual revolvers. Bob sports cowboy threads as well, but his weapon is a rifle. However, the show stealer's gotta be Hermano's slick, fashionable pink sombrero and poncho. Sunset Riders is tons of fun and craziness. Right from the first 5 minutes of the game, the slapstick comedy comes hardcore. You can drop a hanging barrel on an enemy, step on a rake and get hit in the face, get trampled by a stampede, and get fried to a crisp in a fire. Tons of antics right from the start. There are 2 types of gun upgrades that can be obtained via collectible sheriff badges that are dropped by bag-carrying enemies or obtained when entering doors. The gold badges add rapid fire, and the silver badges widen your gun spread. You can also pick up dynamite dropped by enemies and rethrow them to blast a group of bad guys. In each of the 8 levels, the 4 characters are tasked with capturing most wanted outlaws that appear as end bosses in each level. Before each stage, you're presented with the villain to be captured and the reward dollars. 8 levels and 8 end bosses. In levels 2 and 6, you ride through the stage on a horse that adds a high-level frantic shooting bullet hell element. There are also 2 shooting gallery style bonus stages after levels 2 and 5 where you shoot cutout bad guys. These stages are totally manic and tons of fun. The villains pop up so fast near the end you're almost just randomly shooting everywhere to try to make a hit. The controls are intuitive. The control sticks move left and right and aim your guns. There's also a jump and a shoot button. By holding up and jump, the player can jump up to an overhead level, and by holding down and jumping will do the reverse. There's also a slide move that each character can perform by pressing jump while holding diagonal and down. The slide move is used to dodge bullets. At the end of the game, you face off against boss Sir Richard Rose for the ultimate bounty. Defeat him and score a massive $100,000 reward, grab the gold, and ride off into the sunset. It's a timeless Old West adventure that will live on forever in the arcades.
I didn't actually play Sunset Riders until probably like 4 years ago. Played the Super Nintendo version and I fell in love with it, you know. It's just that Konami awesomeness, good soundtrack, great to play with a friend. Obviously the arcade version you can play with 3 friends instead of just 1 on the Super Nintendo. I don't know, the arcade version is a little bit different. As far as, you know, you'll encounter, it's a little bit harder. You're gonna encounter more bosses and stuff like that. Whereas the Super Nintendo version, I've got it so figured out. I think I can basically play it almost not dying. Me and a friend can run through the game pretty quick as well, but in the arcade, I'll end up spending probably, I think we beat it on $5, which isn't too bad. And, but yeah, it's just a fast-paced, side-scrolling, shoot-'em-up cowboy game. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. Great boss fights, and yeah, I think it's a pretty timeless game.
All right, so that's a bit about Sunset Riders, a game that I truly love. If you also love Sunset Riders, please be sure to give us a comment below and tell us about it. Also, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe to be notified when we release our next video.